Love that picture. You have a doggy. I love dogs. Yeah, I'd love to hear a little bit about you. I'm Marina. I'm a IBS dietitian, holistic dietitian, and this tonight is all for you. I just want to be able to get out any kind of information and help people understand that the power of healing is in you and it is possible to find answers even if you feel like you're lost. Yeah, I've got a dog. He's not in here now, but he's a big black Bernedoodle. Hudson, cutie pie. Love him. He's my shadow. All right. I'm also just going to put this in the chat here if you want to check it out. If you email the word bonus to my email address, you're going to get a free bonus just for being on this training tonight. And then I have lots more giveaways later on. But if that's something you want to take a screenshot of, it's in the chat, or just copy and paste it. Make sure you do that. But I'd love to hear about what brought you here. Where did you hear about this from? And what would you like to get out of this? Maybe even things that you've tried in the past. So I like to share. You don't have to. Don't feel pressure, but it's nice because it's a great way to be able to get the most out of this for everybody. So we'll start in a little bit. I'm just going to get some details going because actually next week, in 2 weeks, I'm doing a challenge and I'm going to invite you all to that also. I'm going to get those details for you. If you subscribe to my channel, IBS Recovery, you'll get all the details about my lives when they come up. So that's a great way. Otherwise, if you want to share your email address or email me, then I'll be able to update you with any new trainings coming up. But this challenge is going to be really cool in a couple weeks. I haven't done anything like it before. I'm really excited about it. And I'll get some more details for you before we get started. But I see some new people joining, so welcome. I would love to hear about what brought you here, where you heard about this from, and what your digestive troubles are, because everyone's are truly so different. And if you see in the chat, there's also a bonus. So don't forget to email for that bonus. You'll get about how to start implementing some of these things that you'll learn about tonight right away. And actually, I'm even going to share the link to register for this challenge because in case. So I'll get that in the chat in just a minute. Perfect. All right. I did an online search and found you. Cool. All right, awesome. Was it on Google or YouTube, I wonder? All right, so register here for the 3-day challenge in 2 weeks. It starts. I'm putting the link in the chat also. Awesome. Oh, DuckDuckGo. Sweet. Cool. All right, so Nicole, you're told that you have IBS. You did a food sensitivity test. Interesting. I'd love to know what kind of food sensitivity test. If you want to share that with me, that'd be helpful. And if that got you anywhere, did you implement those results or are you waiting to do that? And if you found them to be helpful at all. I used to work a lot with food sensitivities. That was a big part of what I did until I ran into some more challenging cases, and that brought me to where I am today. All right, so we got 2 more minutes until we officially start. I'm just gonna hold off until that 8 o'clock. All right, Nicole, you did a hair test, eating less corn, chicken, and beef. Yeah. Did you find that to be helpful by changing those things in your diet, or did you find it just to be a little bit more of a nuisance? And if you're new, just feel free to share in the chat what's been bothering your body, whether it's stomach issues or something else. All right, we've got 1 minute and I'll get started. I think I've got everything I need. All right. All right, it's 8 o'clock. Let's get started. My name is Marina. I'm a holistic dietitian. I specialize in stomach and gut issues because I realize that is the main point to start when it comes to health. You cannot be healthy if you have an unhealthy or an unhappy gut. Okay, so Nicole's just sharing that she did a food sensitivity test. It helps most of the time, but it's a pain. I can't eat with what my family eats. Yep. And I'll talk a little bit more about food sensitivities a little bit later. It is very common to have food sensitivities. So many people with IBS have food sensitivities, and some of you may have IBS and some not. But IBS, typically people who have IBS are people who've been to the doctor, they've had a diagnosis, they've done different tests. Some people are self-diagnosed, and you know what? Honestly, it's kind of a BS diagnosis anyway, because it just means that you're not having normal bowel movements or you're having pain that is not associated with something else in your abdomen. So I just want to share a couple of stories from people because I get people from all over the place, and they're always so shocked at how I'm the only person who's been able to help them finally feel better after being to many different doctors, many different GI doctors, and just not having any answers. And sometimes it's a couple of pretty simple changes that we have to make, and other times it's a little more extensive. But either way, they're able to actually feel better and improve their health for real. Now, you're not alone, but things are getting worse. Now, stomach problems are a sign that bigger problems are ahead. Okay? Might be autoimmune disease, thyroid problems, maybe even Crohn's disease or cancer. But if you're here, I know it's because you're done suffering. You are a problem solver and you're looking for something that's going to fix you for good. So congratulations for being here and have taken that initiative. Now, the average person will spend $2,000, $2,100 every year on solutions for their gut problems that don't actually work. I'm going to show you exactly why nothing has worked before and what actually will. Now, if you've been on a long and frustrating health journey, throw an emoji in the chat because for some people, this has been going on for years and years. Now, most people with chronic digestive issues have a long and stable journey that is just declining over time. And the fact that you're here tells me that you want to be able to eat without fear, to make plans and be able to eat with your family and friends and have the energy. But you probably feel stuck with unpredictable stomach pains or bloating or even having to go to the bathroom. Food might have become the enemy, like Nicole was talking about, and you might feel like you're missing out on life. Maybe you've tried different diets, medications, supplements. Worst of all, investing the time and the energy and the money with little to no relief. Yeah, I hear you. Now, this training is not going to be for you if you're not ready to believe in yourself and your body's ability to heal. If you're not ready to go deeper and connect the dots in your health history. If you're happy and just content with managing your symptoms, this is not going to be for you. If you're not open to functional testing or supplements, this isn't going to be for you either. Now, don't forget to email the word bonus to my email address. It's on the screen. You can take a screenshot or it's in the chat. Just for being on this training, you'll get something emailed back to you tonight or tomorrow. My 3 promises to you is that I am never going to make you fear food. I'm never going to give you a cookie cutter plan because those don't work. And everything I do is completely customized to your body. If you stay until the end, you're going to avoid missing critical insights. You're going to receive over $400 in savings and discover a life-changing opportunity. Plus, I have an exclusive opportunity to get personalized help. Now, I created this system because I started noticing that people coming into my office had all these different problems. But one of the first problems they ever had, the first diagnosis on their chart was always IBS, constipation, diarrhea, you name it, but that would come first. And then years later, it might be Crohn's disease or a thyroid problem, or they had to get their gallbladder taken out, or they had psoriatic arthritis or something like that. And I realized that if we're able to fix your gut problems earlier on, then imagine how many problems we can avoid down the road. So my goal is to really empower people to reclaim their health without restrictive diets or Band-Aid solutions. Now, I've helped over 700 people with these really tough cases where no one was able to help them before. So until we remove these 3 problems that I'm going to teach you about, you're going to stay in the cycle of fear. Now, you got to realize that conventional healthcare is failing us. And if you're here, I'm sure you know that. And that's why you're here, is because people aren't getting answers from their doctors that they need to heal. Now, most Americans Over 50% of Americans over the age of 65 have a chronic digestive disease. So more than half of Americans over the age of 65 have a digestive disease. And can you imagine what that's going to do to their health and their life? Not being able to be happy and healthy in those older years where you want to be retired and spend time with your family and go on adventures. So really, we're looking at this burden of digestive disease. And if you're noticing that now, it's only going to get worse. People tell me that all the time. Well, I've had this for 10 years, but over the years, it's only gotten worse. And now they're at the point where they're just at their wits' end and they'll try anything. Unfortunately, I wasn't always successful. Now, I was telling Nicole about this earlier that I used to really just do food sensitivity testing and specialized diets. But I had somebody come to me and she put all of her faith in me. We did that kind of approach, which worked on 90% of people, but not this one. It didn't help her feel much better at all. And I couldn't figure out why. So instead, I went back to researching and studying. Over 1,000 hours later of continuing education and just deep diving and training, I put together this prototype of a framework. Now, it took me a year of practicing this, and I was just taking whoever I possibly could, whoever possibly would be able to benefit from this. I was taking them on as clients and putting this to the test. Time and time again, it was working, and so well that I ditched what I was doing before with the food sensitivities, because with food sensitivity testing and implementation, you have to follow a very strict diet. Some people come to me, maybe they've had eating disorders in the past, or maybe they were just so underweight they couldn't bear to be on a food sensitivity diet. And some people, they only could eat 10 foods. I wasn't about to take some of those foods away that they might have been sensitive to. So instead, I developed something else, something completely different. And I'm going to tell you all about it, because really it comes down to three main pieces. Now, unfortunately, for this person who I wasn't able to help, she moved on. So I wasn't able to help her. And that's always been my driving reason to push and work so hard and to help every single person I can, because I don't want to fail anybody else. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's great for the people that you've helped, but my case is way too tricky. Or, well, my problems aren't that bad yet. I'm not losing weight. I'm still able to function pretty well. Or maybe you're thinking, well, I'm sure I can just figure this out on my own. I'm just researching different options and I just need to gather more information and I'll be fine. But I want to let you know that, not to be a downer, but I completely believe in you, but you have a better chance of winning the lottery than picking out all of your triggers on the first shot and being able to fix them. And that's because, you'll see, there are so many different pieces to this puzzle. Not even I can just pick it out, even after having all these years and experience with different cases. There are some things that are completely imperative to know, and I'll show you that. Now, if you want to be successful, the three keys to success are that you need to be coachable. You need to be able to focus on your progress and not perfection. And you need to be able to commit to never letting self-doubt stop you. So even if you've tried all these different things before, as long as you have these three traits, then you can totally do this. These transformations are possible for you. Being able to go out to eat at your favorite restaurants, just picture taking a trip to Europe, going to Switzerland and going on this beautiful 4-hour hike through the mountains. without having to worry about what you're eating or where the nearest bathroom is. Being able to play with your friends, your family, your loved ones, or even being able to completely outperform everyone else in your job so that you shine through and that you're able to do the kind of work and have that experience that you want. To be able to eat the foods that are going to help you prevent cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. All those healthy fruits and vegetables that are so good for you for disease prevention, so many times people will avoid because they have sensitive stomachs. Now, I just want to share that this is not normal. Your body will start to whisper with these different symptoms, and then eventually it talks louder and louder until it's screaming at you. Whether it's fatigue, sleepiness, irritability, depression, forgetfulness, mood swings, all these symptoms are not normal and many times are tied to your gut. Digestive symptoms, well, they might be all over the place like this person, or it just might be gas and diarrhea or bloating, maybe constipation. I had this one person whose biggest complaint was fatigue and constipation. And it turned out that she had the most complex case that I've ever seen. And it took us a while to get to the root of it. But I'll tell you a little bit more later about what actually fixed her problem. And she was just shocked at the couple of things the couple of key pieces that she needed in order to heal were just completely under the radar from her doctors. Now, your poop matters, okay? You want to make sure that you're having 1 to 3 bowel movements a day, ideally a number 3 or 4 on this chart. If it's consistently outside of that range, that shows us something is up and needs to change. Discovery number 1, the 3 hidden reasons why your stomach won't heal. This is what doctors miss and why you're still suffering. I'm going to show you the program that I use that has helped so many people, even when cases were not all that severe, but were just wearing people down. The first piece is what I call the things that don't belong. This is part of my foundational gut reset because we're working on building a nice, healthy foundation of a gut. Things that don't belong in your body or your gut, like bad bugs, chemicals, waste. Now, these things will make you feel tired and stressed out. Now, bad bugs, we might have heard about bad bacteria, could even be fungus, yeast, or even parasites. Chemicals, well, a lot of people think, okay, well, I'm pretty healthy. I don't think I have a lot of chemicals or heavy metals. You'd be surprised. I'll show you more about this later, but did you know that even organic produce has chemicals on it? So even the people who take the best care of themselves tend to have an accumulation of different chemicals in their body that are tearing apart your digestive system. Now, one little tidbit here, you've heard of glyphosate and these other pesticides. The way these work is they cause the intestines or the digestive system, I should say, of insects and pests to deteriorate. These pesticides are sprayed on our foods or injected into our foods so that bugs will die from their digestive system out if they eat them. What do you think that does to us and our digestive systems? Talk about people who have ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Forget about it. So that's just an example of chemicals that don't belong. Also, if you have bad bacteria in your gut, they produce waste. and extra toxins that your body now has to get rid of. So not only do you have bacteria that are breaking down the healthy gut lining, but they're also having a party, they're causing bloating, and they're producing waste that now your body has to get rid of. Talk about a triple whammy. Lisa was someone I was working with. She was only able to eat 10 foods that she felt were safe. But we didn't have to change her diet. We just had to help her body clear out this backlog of waste. And within just a couple of weeks, she started seeing improvements. A couple months later, she was able to eat normally again. It's amazing what your body can do when it wants to heal itself, and when it can heal itself when you give it the right things. Okay, number 2. Number 1 is that there's things that don't belong. Number 2 is that you have an empty gas tank. You would never drive to work on an empty tank of gas. But when you have gut issues, you're not digesting and absorbing your food properly. So your body's not able to take in what it needs. On top of that, you're stressed out, so your body is using up more nutrients because it's stressed out. So now your stores are completely empty. You're not absorbing and digesting. You're using more than what you need, usually, and you're left running on empty, like an empty tank of gas. Vitamins, minerals, many, many, many more nutrients than just that. Being depleted in those is going to keep you in this cycle, because your gut can't heal if it doesn't have the supplies to heal itself. So you're empty, but you need to rebuild your gut and support your system because you're stressed out, and we'll talk about that next. So now we got brain fog, we've got stress, maybe your mood or your memory or your sleep is off. You can see how these 3 things come into play, right? We know that it's just with everybody that there's chemicals and things that don't belong in our life. But for people who have IBS, we are typically much more susceptible genetically to accumulating this waste and overflowing that bucket. We're running on empty, and we can't rebuild and support our systems. And on top of that, we are just stressed out. We're using up more fuel and supplies than we normally would because we're stressed out. This is why there's no simple fix for IBS. And when you Google cures for IBS, the doctors will come on a video and say, there are no cures, all we can do is manage it. Well, that's a bunch of baloney. They just don't have enough experience with supporting your systems in these ways. So when you give your body the tools it needs, it can completely reverse this syndrome. Now, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And this is totally up to you what you want to do with this information that I'm giving you. You can use it to change the way you're living and support your body moving forward, or you can continue the way that you've been going and think of this and, kind of add it to the files of things in the back of your mind. But the truth is, if you don't start implementing this right away, you'll probably forget about it, and it might take you years more until you finally start getting answers. So if you do nothing, your symptoms, they're going to get worse over time, and you'll have more experiences that you miss out on. Family memories, going out to eat with friends, and there's a stronger potential for more serious health issues later on. When you do take action, then you can get to the root cause of what's going on so you can get lasting relief, expand your food choices confidently, and improve your overall health and well-being. You'll be 100 years old, no osteoporosis because you fix this, no muscle wasting because you fix this. You're going to be digesting and absorbing all the nutrients. You're going to be sharp in your brain. You're going to have a great memory and you're going to love your life if you're able to turn this around. All right, I don't want to bore you to death. So let me just do a little pulse check. How are we doing? What kind of questions do you have? I have a lot more things I'd like to share, but I also want to make sure that I'm able to answer some specific questions if you have them. So throw them in the box, in the chat box. Quick win, I just want to share how you eat matters. Now, there's nothing I can tell you today if you have pretty moderate to severe IBS that is going to be completely a game changer. I mean, the information I gave you just before, those 3 steps, that's huge. So we got to address those 3 things for sure. But these other things are going to be more about how you can get started right away and support your system so that you have some major foundational pieces taken care of, and then we can build on top of that. So this first thing is making sure that you're eating slowly. I know it's hard, especially if you have kids or other people running around the house or work. When you're scarfing down your food, you're in this rushed state, and guess what? If you're in a rushed state running around, your blood flow is going to your arms and legs. It's not going to your stomach. That's a problem because A, you need to chew your food really well to make it easy on your stomach. And if you're running around, blood's not going to your stomach. So your stomach is sleeping. It's not getting ready to digest food. It's going to sit there longer. It's going to ferment. It's going to cause gas and bloating. So do yourself a favor, eat slowly, chew your food ridiculously well because digestion starts in your mouth. Your saliva is a digestive enzyme. If you can, try to have a 12-hour fast overnight. Give yourself 12 hours, let's say from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. without any food, if you can. Because this is going to give your digestive system a time to rest. Rest and digest. It needs to be able to move things through your system, and it can do that much easier if you have that 12-hour fast. I'm also not a fan of snacking if you can avoid it. Now, of course, this depends on your predicament. I don't know everything in detail about your health, obviously, but if you are snacking between your meals, that is going to make it harder for your body to digest everything properly. Lastly, don't try to be a hero and eat raw vegetables if you know they bother you. Some people, they're fine with them, but other people, just cook your vegetables well. Stick to things that feel comfortable, like zucchini or spinach or sweet potatoes or butternut squash or even white potatoes. Listen to your body because there is really no specific diet for IBS. You know those foods better than anybody does because there could be foods, people who have IBS, they could be triggered by high carbohydrate foods or high fat foods or high protein foods. So any kind of food could be a trigger with IBS. And that's why you can't just look up a general IBS diet and be successful in following it and feeling better. Next discovery is that probiotics and strict diets are not enough. We have this conventional treatment, Western medicine, which can be great for a lot of things. But medications in IBS, they're just going to mask your symptoms. And in some cases, people are having or taking medication like a PPI or an acid blocker. You're taking that because you have a symptom, and that acid blocker is actually able to make you have IBS if you're on it long term. Okay. Now, I'm not saying to come off of your medications, but I'm saying that medications are supposed to be used in very specific instances and usually for short term purposes while you get everything else under control. So we got to get these things under control and then reassess with your doctor what your plan should be for medicine. Now, elimination diets might leave you eating just a handful of foods, or like Nicole said, not able to eat chicken or beef. And that feels impossible because that's most of what everybody eats, right? There's so much contradictory advice out there about eating a low FODMAP diet or a carnivore diet or a Whole30 diet. It feels impossible. And that's because there is no one diet that's going to fix everyone's IBS. It's actually not about the food. It's so much more about all that extra waste in your body, not having the right nutrients, and being in that chronic state of stress. And that's why I love this so much. It's because when people think of IBS, they think, well, I can't eat this or that or that or that. It's not about the food. It's so much deeper than that. So we help support your body so that your body can digest and eat everything. Now, also, whether you call this conventional or holistic, another problem that I see is that people will take these expensive tests without having a real plan. This is heartbreaking to me because I've had people come to me and they've had some really fabulous tests done in the past, but they might not follow through with those results, or their practitioner might not have had a solid plan for addressing them properly. In either case, you've got a very expensive piece of paper now, which may or may not be relevant anymore. Now, I do want to share with you, if you've had any functional tests done in the past, there's something I want to offer you at the end of this. So make sure you stay tuned. And I'm just going to make sure that you have this link because I am hosting a challenge in 2 weeks. And this is for people joining this call or this training tonight. I'm hosting a 3-day challenge in 2 weeks. I put the link in the chat because this is going to be a challenge where on day 1, we're going to talk about clearing out the stuff that doesn't belong in your body, how to do that. And on day 2, filling your tank up with the things that your body is craving and it needs. And on day 3, different ways to calm your nervous system, specifically for people who have gut issues. So make sure you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you sign up on that link that I just put in the chat. Cool. I'm very excited about that. Because I want to be able to help you take the next steps to feeling better. This could be a life-changing month for you. And that's ultimately what I want for you, is to be able to come out of this rut that you're in and realize that healing is so much easier than you realize as long as you have the right steps. Now, what I have in front here, the basic self-care, these are important foundations. Solidifying these habits are going to help your body, but don't think that doing these are going to fix your problems alone, because it's only going to fix mild stomach problems. If you're here, it's more than likely that your stomach problems are more than just something you deal with every couple months. So eating wholesome meals, because whatever you're able to prepare for yourself is always going to be better than what you're able to get eating out. And that's because you're able to control the ingredients. I had somebody who was so sensitive to vegetable oil that when they ate anything cooked in a restaurant, they had a problem. They had to have things steamed or just grilled with no oil on it whatsoever because restaurants will use the cheapest oils possible. And those, in many times, can cause inflammation in your gut. Stress management is huge. Just stop stressing, right? No problem. Well, there are things that you can do, basic things. One of them that I can share with you now is a method of breathing. And you can do this when you're cooking, when you're driving, when you're going to the bathroom, whenever you want. But if you associate it with an event or an activity, then you're more likely to kind of anchor yourself to it and be able to use it more. Basically, what you want to do is you want to inhale for, let's say, 5 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. You want your exhale to be longer than your inhale. So let's do that for a second. That signals to your body that you're having a long exhale, that it's time to rest. You do a few sets of those and you're going to switch on your resting mode, which is also going to help you digest your food better. If you're able to do this before a meal, that's going to work out really nicely because it's going to prep your stomach and get your digestive juices flowing. Movement is also another important one. Don't underestimate movement. Now, maybe you work at a desk or maybe you're very active, but if you need to, just do some air squats. Do some squats maybe when you're brushing your teeth or anytime you use the toilet. Do an extra 20 squats just to get your fluids, your lymphatic system, and your muscles and your organs moving. Even some twists can be helpful to get some movement in your abdomen. And sleep, we don't want to underestimate that. Now, I've got these glasses on because they block out a lot of the blue light from my computer because my bedtime is 9 o'clock. I'm staying up late tonight for you guys. My bedtime is 9 o'clock because I want to make sure that I have time to do a meditation, have a full night's sleep, and then wake up, have a meditation in the morning before my exercise, and I start my day. Those are things that have taken a lot of discipline, but I see all of the evidence of how important those are for so many reasons. And I hope you do too. The next discovery is what actually works to help your stomach. So this is my 3-step system that's going to address the real problem. A system that actually works, because we need to clear out that overflowing bucket and fill up your empty tank and build strength and resilience. Now, we focus on all of these things at the same time. And some things have to come before other things. For example, we have to clear out certain things before we can clear out other things. And that's where this experience really comes into play, because you can't just say, oh, I have some bad bugs, I just need to take some oregano and I'll be fine. That can be a recipe for disaster, and you might find that you get caught up with bigger problems than you started with. It's all about the details in here. So I just want to share about Lori. She didn't have time to overhaul her diet, and she thought, well, my stomach is really bad, but I don't know what to do about it because I work all the time. I don't have the time to cook all my own food. So what can I possibly do? She didn't realize how little time it would take to feel better. She took less than 5 minutes a day to implement these changes that she needed to do. And within a couple of weeks, she started feeling less bloating and more energy, easier to wake up in the morning. Before, she tried 3 different nutritionists. She didn't eat until after work because she was afraid she would have to use the bathroom when she had to go to court. Now, I just want to make sure that I had some time to put this in here today because toxins are more common than we think. And truly, one of the most important things we can do is to use a specific kind of tests to see what your body is facing so that we can help fix it. You'll see this is one type of test that we used on this young lady. And they could not believe how high her markers came back. Everything was in the red. She was on an allergy medication every night. I think it was Flonase. And the different chemicals in those drugs caused her to have these drug toxins in her system that were causing trouble, making her feel anxious and messing with her gut. Mold and mycotoxins. So mold gives off toxins, and that is poison to your body. It will attack your brain and your gut. Major problems here. Everyday chemical exposures from cleaning supplies, plastics and petrochemical exposure, air pollution, industrial chemicals, and pesticides. All of these things were super high in this young woman. And no two bodies are the same. And that's why testing is so crucial so that we can identify which areas need the most help. And I promise, if you've got gut issues, then there's no doubt in my mind that toxins are playing a major role. So this is the bucket that we're talking about that overflows. Here you can see 2 other tests. These are different people as well. You'll see up top that these are different types of toxins that come from mold, okay? And this person was another younger person, student, and they, practically guaranteed that there's mold in their school, but also the family realized that they had a water damaged area in their house that they were able to fix. So these toxins, just because you've come in contact with mold here and there, the toxins will stay in your body for years and years and destroy your system. The test below, you can also see another person. Now, the last marker at the very bottom, the fecal lactoferrin, this person thought she had IBS and she came to me and her tests were so extreme that I said, it's possible she would even be diagnosed with ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease if she had a recent colonoscopy, because her colonoscopies were a couple years old and no one has been able to find anything. But when you get test results like this come back, it's just blatantly obvious that these are messing with you completely. And again, this is just why testing is so crucial, because no one can say what you are most prone to, but when you look at these tests, it's glaring in your face what to start fixing right away. This is a story about Lisa because her parents had type 2 diabetes and heart disease. She wanted to eat well for herself so that she can prevent those diseases as she got older. But her stomach did not tolerate these different fruits and vegetables. She couldn't eat kale or arugula or broccoli. Forget about it. Now, the reason why she wanted to change is not because her symptoms were so horrible, because she just avoided those healthy foods. But she wanted to be able to eat those healthy foods because she knew she had to be healthy if she wanted to be having a nice, healthy, long life, unlike her parents. So after addressing the bugs in her system, the extra waste, the nutrient deficiencies, and the stress problems, she was able to completely feel better. No bloating, even no cramping or any of that, and eating kale and broccoli and her favorite foods. So now she's able to eat confidently, knowing that she's getting all these phytonutrients and the foods that are going to help protect her against future diseases. This was a story about Jen. Now, I mentioned her before because she came to me. She didn't really feel that badly, but she said her liver enzymes in her blood work came back elevated, and her doctor said, "Well, we'll keep an eye on it." But when we dug deeper, we learned that earlier, about 10 years earlier, her digestion was not so great anymore. She would get cramping occasionally, bloating after most meals, food sensitivities. Her tests all seemed mostly fine, and a lot of people just chalked it up to perimenopause. Well, you're just getting older. It's probably nothing. Don't worry about it. But it clicked to her that her system, her body was slowly worsening over those years. And it was amazing because when she came to me, she said, "Yeah, well, I do have this bloating and I am constipated, but I also get diarrhea sometimes." That when we were able to fix her problems, her liver test normalized completely. And her doctor was just so shocked how she was able to do that. She wasn't a drinker or anything like that. So it all just came from this extra waste that her liver was trying to deal with. And it was having a hard time. That's why she eventually, her lab results were high because of what her body was going through. Now, the best way to predict your future is to create it. I love that. It's so true. And I hope it empowers you because you can have that food freedom, being able to eat out wherever you want with your friends, your family. You can be present with your family, go on vacations that you've always wanted to, and be confident in your career, showing up consistently and having the stamina and the brain power to outperform your younger self. This is completely possible for you. And you have a choice. You can keep doing what you've always done and you'll miss out on opportunities. Your health is going to continue to fail even more and you'll be confused about what is truly upsetting your body. Or the other path is to get a roadmap. Know what's wrong with your body, get a personalized plan, and start seeing results in a matter of weeks. So if you do nothing, you're going to choose to stay exactly where you are now. I want to show you how to get a roadmap because it's a lot easier than you might think. So you know that it's not just food that's causing your symptoms. You know it's too challenging to heal on your own. Like I said, it's like winning the lottery if you were able to guess all the things that you needed to fix on your own. And ignoring this is only going to lead to worse health. So you need a system that addresses all three of these problems at once. And that's why nothing else has been able to help before, because no one else is addressing these three things at once. So I want to help you figure out today what these issues are for you. But a workshop like this, it's kind of generic. As much as I try to tailor this to every person, we need to talk and learn more about your history and your symptoms and everything that's going on so we can understand what you've tried before and what your best next steps are. Now, you can apply this to your situation. If you get a gut healing strategy session, it's a time for us to talk and have a comprehensive assessment, one-on-one attention. so that you can finally have an idea of what is causing you to feel this way. Now, I have a special offer for you because you're here and you've gone through all of this education. You know a lot more about the person who's just going to call me up later this week to schedule an appointment. And knowing this and having the ambition to be on a training like this shows me that you're going to be really successful and it's going to be really easy to help train you through this. So the gut healing strategy session is $97 just for today. If you book it today, then you're going to have this opportunity to get $200 off. Okay. The second bonus is that I'm going to analyze your previous tests on this call. So $250 value for free. I'm throwing that in there because a lot of people have had previous tests and they're not really sure what to do with them, and they can still be quite helpful. I would love to see them and see how we can build a plan that is going to be the last plan you ever need. I'm going to put this link in the chat. This is the link where you can book your $97 session. This is your gut healing strategy session. Now, the question is, what's your life worth to you? And yeah, that sounds dramatic, but when you have gut issues, you're going to have decreased productivity in your whole life, in every area of your life, whether you work or not. And it takes many months and even years to get diagnosed with IBS. So if you're at this point, you've probably had it for 1, 2, maybe even 10 years. This consultation is going to help you finally see what causes you're dealing with, get a personalized plan so you don't have to keep guessing, and stop you from wasting any more money on something that isn't going to work. Now, this is the best next step to helping you change the trajectory of your health. And my promise to you is that if you work with me and follow the plan, you're going to see improvements. If you don't, I'm going to work with you one-on-one until you do, or I'm going to refund your investment. When you book this session, you're going to see my calendar. The circles in gray are the available dates. You can choose a phone or video session. You'll enter in your information, and the link again is below. You can take, well, the screenshot, my video is kind of covering it, but take a screenshot of the chat box because you're going to have some goodies in there. Let me know if you have any questions about that, but I do want to share that, when you have this digestive issues, stomach pain, stomach problems, your body's asking for help. And I know you don't want your health to fail anymore. You don't want your quality of life to keep suffering. You want to get better, and the best way to do that is to take the first next step. So some common questions I get, and I love to hear some more. I can answer them in the chat, so post them below. But some things I hear is, how do I know this is actually going to work for me? And the truth is, it has to work for you because this is completely tailored to you. There's nothing I can do without you in this. I can't give you a plan until I talk to you and I know more about you, because this is completely customized. Another question is this covered by insurance? Now, I've stopped working with insurance companies because they frankly don't put nutrition high up on their priority list. They're not able to support you in getting results that you need to truly heal from this. And so I've decided I don't want insurance to dictate your care. If you only do what insurance covers, chances are you're never going to get the relief you need and deserve. What happens exactly after the strategy session? And what about after that? I love this question. I'm so glad I asked it. During the strategy session, we are going to do a deep dive into everything that has gotten you to this point. We're going to create a clear plan on the next steps to take. And that completely depends on what you're looking for. If you say, I want to do whatever it takes to help me feel better, then easy. We can do different tests. We'll get you started right away. If you say, well, I'm not really sure about this, I have these other tests, can you check them out? Yes, I will. If either way. And some people say, well, I'm a little unsure. What do you think if I just do a couple little things here and there first to test it out? And that's fine too. Some people will do the bare minimum. They just might do one or two little changes, and other people will do everything. And some people are in between. It really depends on your budget, the amount of effort you want to put into this, and where you are right now. How quickly will I feel better? Totally depends on what we're dealing with. Like that person before you saw whose inflammation markers was off the charts, that is going to take more like a year or two to fully heal from. Somebody who doesn't have that level of inflammation could potentially heal a lot faster. It's all up to your body, because your body is what's doing the real healing here. We're just giving it some tools it needs to support it. I don't have the time or energy to follow a program right now. I get that sometimes, and well, I get that because I understand it, and a number of people come to me with that. We get it. We got lots of things to do, and we don't want to have to fret about following a certain program because it's bad enough our guts or stomachs are messing with us in the meantime. Truth is, it can take as little as 2 minutes a day. That could take as much as an hour a day if you really want to. I mean, I spend a half hour meditating in the morning and at night, so that's what I choose. But truthfully, we've had incredible results with people who just spend a couple of minutes a day, not having to make huge diet changes either, which is a huge win. One last bonus I want to offer you. Like I said, if you stay to the end, I've got some goodies for you. I really want to thank you for being here, not just for yourself, but for other people, because now you can share this with other people and teach them about all the different things that are contributing to their gut problems. So my last bonus is a quick relief action plan, something that you can start implementing right away to help you start and feel better. So this is a $97 value. Overall, all of these offers and bonuses tonight, it's a $547 savings that you get. So don't forget, this is honestly the easiest thing you can do. It's an hour of your time for this gut healing session, and it's going a gut healing strategy session, I should say. I'm putting the link in the chat. It's the best way that you can take control over your health, because you're gonna finally get somebody with 15 years of experience helping close to 1,000 people with cases who haven't been able to find relief anywhere else. They've fired many GI doctors and finally have found relief using this framework that you learned tonight. Now, it's painful to admit, but every problem I've had longer than a few months is because I decided to keep it. I really hate for you to make the mistake on missing out on this program and having your health fail even more. This has been designed for you to avoid the mistakes that destroy your health over time, and it gives you a shortcut to faster, sustainable success. Thank you for being here. And if you have any last questions, I think that's about it. It's all the information's in the chat. I would love to see you at my next training in 2 weeks for that challenge, things that you can start implementing right away. The link is in the chat. So don't forget to sign up for it, and I'll see you around. God bless everyone.